Hi guys. No idea if this is gonna work. Okay, looks like we're back on. I don't really know. So if somebody is gonna join on live, and you might be able to just send me a quick comment and let me know that you're on and that it's working. For some reason, I don't know if it's the weather, I'm not quite sure, but my Wi-Fi has been out for a couple of days, just spotty. It's usually totally fine, so not quite sure. Oh, I see two people. Can you guys give me a thumbs up if everything looks okay? We'll jump back on and we'll do, we were just about to get rolling into sun salutations. Yeah, I was trying to chat with my people and see if I could get something happening. Well, I'm just gonna continue. So, yeah, we did a couple of cat cows. We started in child's pose. We did a couple of cat cows after that, and then we were in down dog. We were about to walk ourselves up to a forward fold, an Uttanasana forward fold. So that's where I'm just gonna go ahead and pick back up. If I lose you again, what I'm gonna do is try to find a better Wi-Fi connection. I will find a new location and find a better Wi-Fi connection and see if, see if I can get something consistent and get an entire class out for you guys. So I do apologize, but we'll get started and we'll see how long it works. So come to the top of your mat for a forward fold. So your feet are going to be about hip width apart here, and just let your upper body hang down your legs. Maybe finding a little rocking side to side, swaying back and forth. Allow your spine to feel long, as well as the back of your legs, noticing some length to the hamstrings. If you like to take some deep knee bends here, that always feels really good on my body. Take one more breath. Finish your exhale, heel toe your feet together. Let's inhale, half lift, nice long spine, lengthening, strengthening, lifting your lower belly up. As you exhale, a forward fold. We'll root to rise. Inhale, reaching up, gaze up toward your thumbs. And as you exhale, forward fold, we'll go through a couple sun salutations. Inhale with a half lift, long spine. Take your step back into a plank pose. Let's find plank pose and stay here for just a moment. Reach your heels back, knit your rib cage together, lifting your lower belly, and push the ground away strong. Feel your spine as long as you can. We're going to lower all the way to the ground, taking your time to get there. So choose toes or knees, whatever is going to help you feel like you're strong as you're lowering down. So elbows are going to tuck back as you lower all the way to the ground. Zip your legs together, take the tops of your feet onto the ground. As you inhale, come up into cobra pose, lifting your head and your heart, squeezing through the inner thighs, staying nice and long through the back of your neck. Keep lifting your lower belly up off the ground. Take an inhale, come through child's pose on your exhale. Slide your knees out wide, toes come to touch, lengthening through your spine. One full breath. Inhale brings you back up through tabletop. Flip your toes, exhale, downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths in down dog. Finishing your exhale, look forward, walk your feet to meet your hands. Inhale, lengthen, long spine, half lift. Exhale, fold. Root to rise. Inhale, reach up, gaze toward your thumbs. Exhale, back into forward fold, moving just a little bit quicker to warm it up. Inhale, half lift. Step back to plank pose. Engaged and strong as you lower all the way down. Send your elbows straight back, lowering all the way to the ground. Inhale up into cobra, lifting your head and your heart. Exhale to child's pose. Knees out wide, toes to touch. One full breath. Inhale up into tabletop and exhale to downward facing dog. Three breaths. Lengthening through your spine, trying to root your heels toward the ground. Finishing your exhale, look forward, step your feet to meet your hands. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, forward fold. Root to rise. Inhale. This time, as you gaze up toward your hands, grab your left wrist. You're going to press your hips to the left as you lengthen your spine or your arms to the right. So reaching long. So if I was facing you, coming here is what your shape is looking like a crescent moon. Keep breathing. Stay for 2 more breaths. Finish your exhale. Inhale brings you back up. And grab your right wrist. Go to the other side. Hips to the right, arms to the left. Keep reaching nice and long. Hoping for length to the right side of your body. 1 more breath. Finish your exhale. Bring yourself back up on your inhale. You can cactus your arms here as you lift your heart or interlace your fingers. First fingers point up. Take a little back bend, gazing up toward your thumbs. If you're cactusing your arms, you're still lifting your heart as you gaze back, opening through the heart. Stay for 1 more exhale. You'll lift up on your inhale, soften your knees as you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step back to plank pose. We're going to stay here in plank pose and shift forward and back. So lifting and squeezing your rib cage together nice and strong. Push to the tippy top of your toes, lengthening your head forward, and then reach back through your heels, shifting forward and back. Notice your core having to turn on nice and strong. Feel your tailbone is still sliding toward your heels. Lifting your lower belly, keep going, rocking forward and back, still pushing the ground away. Take 2 more. Last one. This time, keep your weight centered. We're going to lower all the way down. Elbows will tap back. Keep your gaze forward as you slowly lower all the way down. Slide your hands out a little bit wider than your mat. You're going to push your fingertips into the ground as you inhale up into cobra, just widening your hands. So you take your shoulders and slide your shoulders back into your back pockets. Feel your activation through your inner thighs, squeezing. Lifting your lower belly. You can push into your fingertips to help yourself lift a little bit higher. Stay for 1 more exhale. Release your hands back underneath your shoulders. And then push back into child's pose. 1 full breath. Inhale up into tabletop. Exhale, downward facing. One more breath. Finish your exhale, look forward, step your feet to meet your hands. Inhale, halfway lengthen, long spine. Exhale, fold. We're going to do that 1 more time. Inhale, half lift, long spine. Hands are going to come down. Step your right foot back, drop your right knee down, and have a little stretch to your right hip flexor. So low runner's lunge here. Hands could come up to your quadricep if you like that posture a little bit better. Tucking the tailbone under again as you press your hips toward your front heel. Keep lifting through your heart. Shoulders are relaxed. Stay for 1 more breath. Releasing your hands down to the ground, flip your toes. Take an inhale and exhale into your downward facing dog. Come up onto your tiptoes, let your knees slide to the ground. Bend your elbows back as you dive your chin to the ground, scooting forward into upward facing dog. Lift your knees, rolling your shoulders back, lifting your head and your heart. Take an inhale, come to down dog on your exhale, tailbone leading. Gaze forward, right foot's gonna step up toward your right thumb, drop your left knee to the ground, coming to the other side. Again, you could pop your hands up onto your quadricep, tuck the tailbone under, feel active through your left hip flexor. Nice and long. Stay for one more full breath. Releasing your hands back to the ground, take an inhale, and on your exhale, we'll come to a forward fold. Back foot meets your front foot. Root to rise, inhale, reach up, gaze up toward your thumbs. One more time, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, long spine. Left leg is gonna step back, drop your knee down. This time you're gonna wiggle your right foot out to the side of your mat. Take your right hand on the inside of your right foot. And we're gonna come into a lizard lunge. So you can stay on your back knee if you like that, or you can lift up and straighten your back leg. On your exhale, bend your elbows back as you lower down like you're doing a lizard push-up. Push the ground away as you inhale, lift back up. Keep going through that with your breath. Your right knee is gonna fall away from your body as you lower down. Inhale is gonna bring you back up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift back up. Two more. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift back up. Last one. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift back up. Wiggle your foot back into the center. Keep your left hand grounded as you exhale, right arm twist. So you're twisting your right side body through. Left hand is on the ground. Low lunge. Back knee could be down or it could be straight. Stay for one more breath. Finish your exhale. Take your right hand back onto the inside of your right foot. So wiggle your right foot out to the side one more time. This time come down to your back knee. Release your back toes. We're gonna stay here in this stretch a little bit. So maybe lowering your upper body down toward your elbows. Let your right knee fall away from your body. And then any movement that you want, sometimes twisting toward your bent knee. So right hand could go on your right knee as you twist. Sometimes that feels nice. Sometimes just trying to lower the right shoulder down as much as you can feels good. Rocking side to side feels nice. Take one more breath. Coming back up onto your hands if you left them on your inhale. Releasing your toes to the ground. Straighten your back leg. Again, one more inhale, and as you exhale, send your right leg back into three-legged dog, lifting it up toward the ceiling. Stay nice and long through your arms and open through the shoulders. Letting your left heel press toward the ground. You still have your right leg lifted. Stay for one more full breath. And then release your foot back to the ground. From here, you're going to shift forward into plank pose. Feel your tailbone rooting down toward your heels. Push the ground away. Legs are nice and strong. Gaze forward as you come through chaturanga. So lowering just halfway this time. Inhale up into upward facing dog. Exhale into downward facing dog. Look forward, right foot is going to step up. Nope, left foot. I'll be all right. Drop. You're going to wiggle your left foot out to the side, and we'll do some lizard push-ups. So maybe you dropped down on the other side onto your right knee. Do that again, or lift up. We're going to exhale down into the lizard push-up. So as you come down, bend your elbows back. Let your left knee fall away from you. Your inhale will bring you back up. We'll do that 5 times. Exhale down. Inhale, lift. Exhale down. Inhale, lift. Exhale down. Inhale, lift. One more. Exhale down. Inhale, lift. Wiggle your foot back into the center. Keep your right hand grounded as you exhale. Take your twist, lifting your left arm up. Feel your right side body lengthening through. Keep your left knee hugging into the midline. Take one more breath. Finish your exhale, release your gaze back to the ground, unwind the body, wiggle your left foot out again to the side, right knee comes down, and we're gonna lower down. So just staying in your lizard stretch. So maybe coming down onto your elbows. Again, maybe rocking side to side, letting your left knee fall away from you, trying to lower your left shoulder down as much as you can. Couple more breaths. Finishing your exhale, come back onto your hands, flip your toes, straighten your back leg, take an inhale, and lift your left leg up into three-legged dog, reaching it back up toward the ceiling. Feel your right heel rooting down toward the ground. It might not touch, that's okay. Stay for one more breath. Finish your exhale, let your left leg come down into your downward facing dog. Shift your weight forward to plank as you tuck your tailbone toward your heels, push the ground away, gaze forward, come into your chaturanga. Inhale up into upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths, down dog. Stay nice and long. One more breath. Finish your exhale, come onto your knees, lifting your upper body up. We're gonna start and do a little bit of mobility now. So starting with the neck, then into the shoulders, then into the hips, and we already kind of opened up the hips a little bit, so you might feel like they're not quite as tight and stuck starting out. So you can stay up on your knees like this, or come onto your toes, up to you. We're gonna do a little bit of work with your neck. So you're tuning into a climbing gym Facebook page. If you happen to not be a climber, welcome. If you are a climber, you're welcome, because this is such a great movement for your neck. It should feel really good as you're, belaying somebody looking straight up. That's really tough on the neck. So we're just gonna stretch it out, okay? So sitting comfortably, take your chin toward your chest and just feel the weight of your head hang down. You're gonna roll your left ear toward your left shoulder. Feel that stretch. Press your right shoulder down and away. Feel that stretch to the side of the neck. Then let your chin rotate toward your shoulder, toward your left shoulder. So you rotated at your head. That should change the way that you feel the stretch. From here, you're gonna tip your left ear toward your back pocket, As you rotate around, you're gonna look up toward the ceiling, nose and chin up as much as you can. Let your right ear rotate toward your right shoulder. Push your left shoulder down. Feel the stretch there. Rotate your chin toward your shoulder. Keep pressing your left shoulder down. Feel the stretch there. Let your head hang down through the middle, so taking chin toward your chest. And then lift right back up. We're going to reverse the direction. So chin's going to hang down again. Right ear to the right shoulder. Letting your left shoulder press down, feel the stretch. Rotate your chin toward your shoulder. Feel how the stretch changes slightly. Tip your ear so it goes toward your back pocket as you take your chin up and around. Allowing your ear to go toward your shoulder, pressing your right shoulder down. Rotate your chin toward your shoulder. Again, still pressing your opposite shoulder down. And then chin is going to hang down through the middle as your head rotates to the middle. Lift your head back up once it's centered. So we're going to go through that 2 more times on each side. You might decide that you want to stay in one pose. Like for me, ear to shoulder, I really feel a big stretch. So I might stay here for a couple of breaths. Freedom, okay? Do what your body needs here. I'm just going to talk you through what I just did, but feel free to stay, okay? So chin drops down, left ear to left shoulder, chin to left shoulder, ear to back pocket, up and around, ear to shoulder, chin to shoulder. Let your head drop down through the middle as you lift back up. Other side, chin down, right ear, right shoulder, chin to shoulder, ear to back pocket, up and around, ear to shoulder, chin to shoulder, head hangs down through the middle, and lift back up. 1 more each side. Chin hangs down, left ear, left shoulder, chin to shoulder, ear to back pocket, up and around, ear to shoulder, chin to shoulder, and chin down through the middle, lift back up. Last one, other side, chin down, right ear, right shoulder, chin to shoulder, up and around, ear to shoulder, chin to shoulder, head hangs through the middle, and lift back up. Perfect. All right, so the next one you can do standing, or you can do just up on your knees where your hips are up and lifted off of your heels, because you need a little bit of space for your arms to hang down. So we're going to do shoulder work. So if you had a tennis ball, you could get a tennis ball and squeeze it in between, in your hand. So you're going to, but if you don't, just squeeze a fist, okay? So you're going to squeeze a fist with your right arm. Your left arm, palm is facing toward your body, your thumb is facing forward. You're going to keep your core engaged. So lower belly is toned, rib cage is knitting in together. Keep that the whole time. From here, take your arm up, and you're going to go up and back as much as you can. Bicep going back behind your ear as much as your shoulder will let it. I'll show you from the side. So here, rib cage is in. Try not to extend the rib cage. And then wave your hand away. So let your thumb start to point forward as your palm faces away. And then you're going to keep rotating. So I'm inwardly spiraling my arm. Thumb is going to point up. Palm is facing away from the body, and my arm is lifted as high as it will. And then I'll bring my arm right by the side. So palm away, thumb back. Lift your arm up. Find the end range where it stops. Then drive the tip of the shoulder blade into the back pocket as you rotate the arm around. Rotate, rotate, rotate. As your arm comes back and by your ear as much as it can, and then bring it right back down. So we basically just reverse the order going that way. So now flex your other hand. So make a fist, squeeze it. Open your other hand up, and you're going to go up with that hand, that arm. Keep your rib cage in. Go back as much as you can. Wave your hand away, reaching behind you as much as you will, just with your arm. Inwardly rotating, so your thumb is away and your palm is facing away from you as well. Thumb is back, palm away, arm right by your side. Lift your arm up, find where it stops as you wave your arm the other way, rotating, rotating. Drive the tip of the shoulder blade into the back pocket as you take your arm up. Bicep framing your face as much as you can. Bring it right by your side. We'll do that same thing a couple more times. So palm facing your body, thumb forward. Squeeze your fist, take your arm up, go back as far as you can, wave your arm away, inward rotation, thumb lifting, palm away, arm comes by your side. Lift your arm up, Drive the tip of the shoulder blade into the back pocket as you rotate, rotate, rotate. Thumb back, palm in, arm by your side. Same thing other side. Squeeze your fist, open your hand, take it up. Squeeze the rib cage, find your end range, reach behind you as much as you can, inward rotation, spiraling your hand, and then up and back. So eventually one day you can do this where you're facing a wall, and then all the way down. I'll show you here. You go right by the side where your hand is working, it's right by the wall, and then you try and do it. So go ahead and do this one on your own. Reaching back, and you try not to touch the wall, and your whole body is still facing forward. So it's a big ask for the shoulders. One day, the hand won't be way out to the side when you're doing those rotations. So hopefully you've done one on each side here, allowing that inward rotation as you feel your shoulders hopefully start to get less crunchy in there. That's what we're shooting for. Okay, so now hips. So we already worked a little bit of hips, but similar concept with the hips. We've done this if you've done any of my classes. We've done this one before. You're going to come into a tabletop shape. I like to keep toes tucked down. It just helps. Your knees are about hip width apart. Your hands are about shoulder width apart. Now, the big thing here is to try to keep your spine straight. When you go through the shape, your lower belly is going to want to release, and your low back is going to want to go into like a cow shape. Try to not let that happen. You're going to keep as straight of a spine as you can, so really engaging and lifting your lower belly. Keep the back of your neck long. Let your right knee come in toward your chest without changing the shape of your spine. Use your hip flexor mobility and strength to get your knee into your chest as much as you can. Then take your knee and your foot out to the side. So you're going to lift it without lifting from your glute. Lift your knee, lift your heel, then slide your heel back like you're pushing and kicking a door behind you. Keep lifting your knee though. Once your heel's in line with your butt, start to rotate your knee so it points down to the ground, and you're lifting with your heel. Lower belly is lifted. This is your end range right here. And then bring your knee together to meet. We're going to reverse that order. So lift your heel behind you, lift your knee, keep your lower belly active. Knee is going to point straight out as you come toward knee to your right tricep without changing the shape of your spine. And then bring the knees back together to meet. Same thing other side. I'll flip around here. So long spine, left knee in toward your chest as close as you can get it without changing your spine shape. Knee up and lifted. Lift your heel as well. Try to stay centered as much as you can through your hands. Kick your heel behind you, reach your heel behind you. Once it comes in line with your bum, let your knee start to rotate down. So you're inwardly rotating your femur, and then bring your knees together to meet. Lift your heel, lift your knee, lower belly also lifting, straight spine. Let your knees start to point out, coming around to the side toward your left tricep without changing the shape of your spine. And then bring it right back to meet. We'll go 2 more each side. Stay nice and long. Right knee comes in toward your chest. Trying to stay centered through your hands as much as you can. Lift your knee, lift your heel. Out to the side. Take it around, reaching your heel behind you. Let your knees start to point toward the ground, actively lifting your lower belly. And then knees come together. Again, lift your heel, lift your knee, lower belly lifting. Knee is going to come around toward your right tricep. And then knees come together on the floor. Left side, knee in. Some would say that these aren't, keep going with this move. These are not very enjoyable, not a very sexy move. But man, can I tell you, the more that you choose to do this kind of movement with your body, this mobility work, the more your body will respond. You'll feel healthy, stronger in your joints, stronger in your muscles because they're more mobile. There's more free range of motion. Hopefully you're coming back to the right side for 1 more on each side. 1 more right, 1 more left. Right knee in, lifting it out to the side. Keep moving with that. So your pelvis is kind of shaped like this, like it's kind of is this concave, I think? Yeah. So then we're going to, my analogy is you kind of scrape the inside of the pelvis with the shape and the movement of your leg, kind of like you have, like you just made chocolate chip cookies or something, and you're scraping the inside of the bowl. You're trying to scrape around with that movement as much as you can. When we give way to other movements, so like if I did this with my low back and then I lifted through my hip, now I'm using all my other muscles to make this movement really big instead of just using the mobility and the strength of the hip to get there. So that's the difference, and that's why this would be kind of a mobility movement rather than just how big can you make it, like full range of motion, if you will. All right, so I'm assuming that you have finished one more on each side. We're gonna go into something that, again, you either love or you hate, 90-90. So this time, what we're gonna do, if you've joined any of my classes, we folded forward over your front leg in the 90-90, trying to push and have energy into the back leg. Lifting up, rotating through the center like this. We've done that. We've lifted out of the hips and then lowered back down nice and slow. Now we're going to lift the back leg. So I have left leg forward, right leg back. And what I'm going to do is try to get my sternum, right heart center, either in the middle of my front shin, or if your back hip allows for it, if the back hip is an internal rotation, if it allows for it, let your sternum rotate toward your front knee, so just a little bit farther. You might need to take your heels in just a little bit more to take that 90-90 shape and make it a little less aggressive. We're going to try without shifting forward as much as possible. Active through the lower belly, you're going to try to lift your back leg. So like already the conversation that I'm having with my brain to my back right glute, the outer glute, is making my outer glute kind of start to cramp up a little bit because it knows what's coming. So if you cramp in this spot, in this shape, I get you, I understand, it's hard. So lift your lower belly, you're going to shift forward only as little as you need to lift your back knee and your back foot wherever you can, trying not to shift as much as possible. You might need to have your left hand down on the ground. If it's down there, try to use it as little as possible. So lift and lower 3 times. Push into your front shin, lift your lower belly, lift the back leg, feel the strength there, lower it back down. Take one more. Lift the back leg, lower it back down. Now you're gonna ground through your back hip as much as you can. Rotate your heart center toward your back knee. Feel the internal rotation there. Lift your back knee up, and we're going to rotate through the center. Lift your back knee as high as you can before you start lifting your front knee. And then rotate through the center. Flex your feet. Knees are open wide. You're sitting up nice and tall. Now we'll rotate to the other side. So your left knee starts to fold down. Your right knee starts to open up. Again, trying to stay as grounded as you can in your back hip. Sternum either over your front shin or over your front, trying to rotate it toward your front knee. Lift the lower belly. If you have a hand grounded, it would be your right hand. Shift forward only as little as you need to lift the back leg. Push into the front leg, lift the back leg up, and slowly lower it back down. You'll notice right away that one side is much more available than the other side. This side happens to be my more available side. And then lower back down. So 3 lifts. You're gonna then rotate into your back hip. So shift your back hip down as much as you can. Rotate your heart center so you're over your back knee. And then your back knee is gonna lift. Keep your front knee grounded as much as you can. Back knee is gonna lift as high as possible. This would be the side that isn't available in this in this way. So back knee is going to lift as much as you can, then come through the center, opening up your knees, flexing your feet, sitting up nice and tall. Your hands could be behind you if you need that. Then we'll drop the right knee down and open the left knee as you're coming back into your 90-90 with your left leg forward, right leg back. So let's try that again. Trying to lift your back leg. All the same things apply. I just won't talk as much. Lift your back leg 3 times. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower back down. Rotate your sternum so it's over your back knee, in line with your back knee as much as you can. Back knee is going to lift. Keep your front leg as long as you can. Open up through the center. Front knee lifts. Knees open wide. Flexed feet. Sit up nice and tall. And then rotate back down. Back left knee becomes your back leg. Right leg becomes your front leg. Again, sitting up nice and tall, trying to keep the lower belly active. Back leg is going to lift where you can and lower back down. 3 lifts. Keep pushing into your front shin, trying to shift to the side as little as possible. That's my 3rd lift. Now, again, sitting your hips back as much as you can. Rotate your sternum toward your back knee. Lift the back knee as high as you can before you lift the front knee. Rotate to the center, feet flexed. And then again, drop the right knee to become your back leg, left knee to become your front leg. One more time. I know you wish that it wasn't, but we're doing it one more time. So again, lifting your back leg 3 times, trying to have that communication happen a little bit better maybe. This time, for some reason, my back leg is like, I am done, don't want to lift. So the communication feels slower. Cool. Shift your weight back. Rotate your heart over your back knee. Lift the back knee. Really work to keep your front leg as long as you can. Rotate through the center, flexing the feet. Remember, your hands could be behind you. And then drop it back in. If your hands are on the ground, you're just trying to use them as minimally as possible. All right, sternum over the front knee or the middle of your shin, and then lift the back leg, shifting as little as possible. Lift and lower, lift and lower. Last one, lift and lower. Good times. Rotate your sternum over the back knee, lift the back knee, keep the front leg as long as you can. There's a little more availability. Open the knees wide and take your legs straight out, shake them out. Well, that was fun. Cool. All right, I sure hope I haven't lost everybody. You're gonna grab 2 blocks. If you don't have 2 blocks, maybe you have some pillows around. Pillows might benefit you in the same way. They're just a little squishy, so grab firm pillows if possible. We're gonna stretch out what we just worked. So you're gonna take fire log. I like to call this pose pigeon on crack because it's kind of double pigeon. So it's not always available for bodies, but we're going to give it a whirl, okay? So your right leg is going to tuck in. You're going to keep your feet flexed. Your left ankle is going to go on top of your right quadricep, just above the knee. Now, what's really important is that you don't let your ankles sickle like this. Okay, you're going to keep your feet just like you're standing on them. I like to use my hands, lift hips up, and make sure that your sits bones are evenly grounded as much as possible. Now, I have pretty available hips in this posture. So what you're trying to do is take your legs and stack them like they're logs on a fire straight. So your shins are parallel with each other. But to make them posture more available, take your bottom heel and slide it toward you a little bit. See if you can keep your top ankle on top of just right at the knee and the quadricep there. You could use blocks. So the block could be underneath your knee, bringing your bottom knee higher up toward you. It could also be here on top of the other foot, letting your other knee rest there. Okay, it's kind of up to you where you take the blocks. Blocks could be here. So just find something that works. You can also sit on the block. If you sit on the block, I'll show you from the side. If you're sitting on the block, then it sometimes allows your hips to be a little bit higher than your knees, and then that shape is a little easier. If you're sitting on the block, I like to use the other block under your bottom knee so that it's not stressing it out too much, okay? So what we're trying to do is find this external rotation through your hips on both sides, okay? So find a shape that works for you. Hopefully you found it with all of that those offerings. And then some options exist. You can just kind of sit here, close your eyes, believe that you're watching waves at a beach somewhere. You're in your happy place. Maybe your happy place is in the mountains in the snow. Maybe your happy place is, for sure, it's not in your quarantine house, I'm sure. But trying to find a place where you can go mentally so that your hips, you're not holding on to tension, but you're releasing the tension because you're allowing your body to think otherwise. Sometimes people like to shift forward, so reaching forward and coming into a forward fold in this shape. Today, for some reason, my left hip is really talking to me, so I'm going to resist going too low. If you're folding forward, I like to say once your hands touch the ground, pull the ground toward you as you lengthen forward, reach. I'll show you that from the side. So I'm going to leave my tailbone behind me and try to straighten out the spine as much as possible as I fold forward, rather than tucking the bum under and then rounding this way. See how that shape looks a little different? So take one more breath there. I'm sure you wanted to tap out already a couple minutes ago. When you're ready, slow release. Take your top leg, shake it out. Take your bottom leg, shake it out. And then we're gonna switch what leg is on top. So changing the leg that's on top, the shape is similar, going with a similar intention. It might look very different. So you might need to slide your bottom heel in closer. Okay, make those adjustments to make this side feel available. I feel like I'm on the same leg. That happens a lot. Ah, yes. Keep flexing your feet. Know that you're not sickling at your ankles. Again, I like to use my hands to lift the hips up so I can kind of wiggle bum down. Allowing the knee to open. Shifting forward. Maybe if you did that on the other side. Relaxing through your shoulders, relaxing through your face. Breathing. You know, it's going to feel a little bit longer because I was talking so much on the other side, but we're going to try to make sure that we feel a little bit even on our sides. So stay for another couple breaths. If you need more time, take it. If you're ready to release, go ahead and shake your legs out, straightening them. All right, we're going to come into a quick hip bridge just to strengthen and turn on the back side of the body a little bit. In our hip bridge, we're going to also do some walking of the legs. So you'll lay all the way back. You're going to bring your heels toward your bum. Hands can be right by your side, palms down. I like to take elbows down, but lift my hands up toward the ceiling. So my palms are facing each other, thumbs facing me. What you're going to do is push your heels into the ground to lift your hips up nice and high. Try to keep your core engaged. I'm going to lower my hands so you just can see. But tucking the tailbone under, lower belly is actively lifting. Squeeze and knit the rib cage together so your core is really solid. Push into your right foot to lift your left leg up, straight up to the ceiling. Try not to let your hips change shape at all. So your left hip doesn't dip down, nor does your right hip. And then bring your left leg back down. Push into your left heel to lift your right leg straight up. Strong, really reaching up toward the ceiling and then lower it back down. And we're going to walk the legs. If you need to take a break, let your hips come down, okay? Keep your hips up as long as you can. Push into your right heel, lift your left leg, and back down. Push into your left heel, lift your right leg, and back down. Maybe your hands come here, fingertips facing up toward the ceiling, elbows down. Push into your right heel, lift your left leg, back down. When you bring your leg back down, right leg's up, try to make sure that you're placing it back down hip width apart. So let's do this 3 more times on each side. Left leg up, back down, right leg up, back down, left leg up, drive the heel into the ground, back down, right leg up, core is engaged, you should be feeling this. Left leg up last time, back down, right leg up, and back down, hips down. Hug your knees toward your chest if you'd like, or take them out wide toward your armpits. Maybe a little rock side to side. Rotating at your ankles. All right, one more. Your heels are gonna come back down, near your bum. Arms can either, again, stay extended, palms down, or you can push your elbows into the ground, lift your fingertips toward the ceiling. We're gonna lift up, not past core engagement, and then release your glutes to lower back down nice and slow. So a hip bridge up and down this time. Push into your heels, lift your hips up, keep your core engaged, and then slow lower. Let your glutes relax as you slowly lower back down. Push into your heels to lift up. Feel your glutes. Tuck the tailbone toward your knees. Feel your core engaged. Start to release your glutes to lower that movement back to the ground. Let's do that a couple more times. Push into the heels, lift up, core engaged. Tuck the tailbone toward your knees. And slow lower back down. Push into the heels, lift up, squeeze. Release the glutes to slow lower back down. Keep with that. 5 more. Push into the heels, lift up. And release the glutes, lower back down. 4 more. Push into the heels, lift up. And slow lower back down. 3 more. Push into the heels, lift the glutes. Release the glutes to lower. 2 more. Lift, squeeze, and lower. Last one. Lift, squeeze, and lower back down. Again, releasing, let your knees come up toward armpits or hug them into your chest. Doing some circles if you want. We'll take a quick spinal twist here. You could keep both knees at a 90-degree bend. Let your knees fall to the right-hand side. Try to keep your knees stacked so that you reach a little bit more intentionally with your left hip, and then gaze off to the left side, feeling a nice twist. Turn your right glute off. So I tend to try to hold on with my glute that's on the bottom. So this one would be the right glute. Try to soften the right glute as you twist. Finish your exhale. Let your knees come toward your chest as you release to the other side. Set your 90-degree bend back up and let your knees fall to the left. Reaching this time a little bit more with your right hip, keeping your knees in line. Relax your left glute as you gaze and twist to the side. Finishing your exhale, let your knees come back toward the center. We're going to rock and roll it up. And let's practice the rock and roll to stand. I know this isn't always, again, popular, but I seem to like to do the unpopular things. So you're gonna rock and roll back a couple of times. Try to tuck your heels toward your bum and then stand all the way up. And we'll do that a couple of times. So standing all the way up. Bend your knees again. Think about lifting your knees up as you let your bum come toward your heels. Slowly lower all the way back down. Rock and roll. And then come back again to a stand. You're working to try to keep your feet together, try to keep your knees together, and try to lower back down as slow as you can. So send your bum back down toward your heels, control the lower, roll back, come all the way back up. Try that one more time, see if you can find a little bit more control every time. Here we go. Oh, I fell out of that one. All right, so last thing that we're gonna do, I'm actually gonna take this picture off the wall. Hopefully you're in a place where you can use a wall. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit of stretching for shoulders. I'm gonna have you, I'll come a little bit closer. I'm gonna have you use your opposite hand to be able to kind of stretch through the shoulders, okay? So just hopefully you can see me while you find a wall and to be able to listen. What you're gonna do is take your arm back. Your arm is gonna be in line with your shoulder. So I'm like this if I'm up against the wall. So here. And then I'm gonna step forward with my inside leg and try to press my shoulder toward the wall, but be gentle. There's no need to stretch or rip anything out here. Be really gentle, okay? Just feel a nice stretch to the shoulder. You can feel like you're reaching back through your fingertips. Reach back as you stretch forward through your chest. So if this is my right arm, I'm reaching back through my right fingertips as I'm reaching forward through my right chest. So feel a nice big stretch there. And then we're gonna switch to the other side. Take your time with that. If you need more time, feel free. So arm is reaching back. My hand is in line with my shoulder. I'm gonna step my inside leg forward as I press into the wall. Reach through your fingertips, reach forward through your chest. Good, go ahead and release. Now what you're gonna do is take your right hand, so we're back to the first side. I'll show you facing this way, like pretend like I have a wall right at me. My arm is about 2 o'clock, okay? Depending on what direction your clock is going. So my hand is up a little bit, and this one is spicy, okay? So you're gonna try to lay your armpit toward the wall. It probably won't. My inside leg is forward again, just trying to open up through the armpit. So I'm gonna face you, come onto my knees, pretend like my arm is still on the wall. So I'm here, trying to open up through the armpit. What you can do is take your left hand, make your fingers look like they're a rake. You're gonna start at the connection of so your deltoid kind of attaches in here. You're gonna start at the connection there and scrape down toward your nipple, basically. Okay, so from here, you're gonna kind of scrape down. You can also take knuckles, that gets a little bit extra, and you're just gonna kind of scrape down. Knuckles are good too. You might find that you have different areas that are extra spicy. So this might seem a little odd or strange. What we're doing is we're kind of raking through the nerves a little bit. You can also cup your hand like this. Put it on your pec muscle here, like fingers in the armpit, thumb kind of grabbing around the pec muscle, and then pull down. So a distraction method, pulling down as you're stretching forward.
So all those things are just trying to create a little bit more space for the nerves to run. If you have a lot of like scar tissue in here, that's what the raking is for. If you feel like you're already done and you've been done, tap out and do the other side. So this arm is about 11 o'clock, 10, 11 o'clock, somewhere in there. Again, pulling down, raking, knuckles, whatever feels right. Don't go too deep into this. Be gentle, be nice, because it is very tough. For me, at least, I feel it quite a bit. Make sure you're breathing. I always forget that point when my body's like, whoa, why are you doing this to me? Then I forget to breathe. It happens. Keep breathing. I don't want to rush you. Maybe you're still there. Feel free to stay. I'll show you what the last one looks like. So now you're going to take your arm at a 90-degree bend like this. You're not going to be awkwardly squatting. I'm just doing that so you can see me in the frame. So 90-degree bend, and now I'm going to be up against the wall that way. So I'll show you on this side, 90-degree bend. I'm going to step forward with my inside leg and pulling my chest forward. So 90-degree bend, I'm pulling my inside chest forward. Again, you could have a cupped hand. Fingertips would go in your armpit, thumb would wrap around to grab your pec muscle and kind of pull down is the goal. Keep pressing. If your right arm is on the wall, keep pressing your right shoulder down as well. Try not to let your trap lift your shoulder up into your ear. If you're still on this side, give yourself about one more breath, and then we're going to rotate to the other side. Left arm up or the other arm, whatever you have. I haven't mentioned anything about the gaze. So your gaze, my gaze, tends to want to go down as I'm kind of feeling my way through this. Keep your gaze at least to the horizon so that you'll feel it a little bit more, okay? Keeping a neutral spine is going to be beneficial here. So take just a couple more breaths there. Well, I'm glad somehow that the video ended up being able to work for us. These would be, again, if you're a climber, these are a great warm-up stretch. What we did in the very beginning is a great way to warm up the arms before you climb. This would be a great way to stretch after you climb, before you climb, any of the two. If you feel tingling in your hands all the way down, that's kind of a good register to let you know you need to do these often. So we get bound up in our shoulders, and especially if you're either at a computer a lot or you just have a tendency to be sort of rolled forward, we can get bound up in our chest and in our connective tissue in here. So really good to make sure that you're staying as open as possible. Hopefully you got both sides there. Shoulders, I'm hoping feel nice. Hips, hoping that they feel nice. I think I'm gonna pause and not put in a yoga pose today, just to let you feel how your hips might feel. But feel free, after we end here, feel free to evaluate what like your warrior two would feel like, what your half moon would feel like. Those are all postures that with the hip mobility that we did, it should feel really nice. Yes, if you can give yourself some time in a Shavasana, please feel free to do that. Always good just to bring your body down and to settle your mind in a Shavasana. Feel free, I know some of these movements are different, might be something that you've not done before. Feel free to send me a comment and ask questions. I'd be happy to engage with any questions that you have around some of these movements. Again, I do have an exercise science degree. I'm a personal trainer and have been working in fitness for a long time. If I say how long, it will date me a little bit, but anywho, I've worked in injury prevention. I've worked with injuries. I've worked with that kind of thing. So some of my yoga tends to have a bit of a like physical therapy feel to it. I am not a physical therapist. I am not a doctor. But I do, I have been a learner of the body for a lot of years. So I will do my best if you ask a question. I will do my best to give you my professional opinion, but not outside of what my bounds to answer are. I do have really smart friends though, so I can always ask questions to friends. But thank you guys so much for joining me. Again, my apologies if you tried to watch the first video. Somehow the clouds have cleared, so maybe that helped the Wi-Fi to be able to work. But I appreciate you guys watching. Again, feel free to ask any questions. I will see you on Monday for traditional Hatha Flow. Enjoy your Friday, y'all.